continue the series of one of every sealed product that I've been doing on this channel. I have here a third anthology. This is the last of the anthology products that Decipher did. So for this one, we're going over the sets of Jabba's Palace and Special Edition, actually. So there's a couple of Special Edition starter decks in here. And then we got ourselves some preview cards and a couple of rules aids here. So the rulebook and glossary from Special Edition. So first anthology was Premiere, A New Hope and Hoth. Second anthology had, of course, Premiere, because everything has Premiere. Premiere, Cloud City, and Dagobah. And here we have Jabba's Palace and Special Edition as the next sets. So this one, the end on this one's a little bit ugly. That's why I chose to open it rather than the more sealed one that I have. But it doesn't look like there was enough room to sneak anything out of the end. Plus, there was a price tag on the end formerly, so it looked like when they took that off, they might have taken some of the wrapper with it. I think I have bought two of these previously in my life, right when they came out from the local gaming store in Michigan where I grew up. But it's been a long time since I've opened one. Whoops, took the sleeve with it. I'm going to be careful with that. Okay. Shrink wrap stuck to the sleeve real good. But there we go. Okay. So here we got the box. And this, although I do like the gold of the second anthology, this Death Star pattern with the star field on it is very neat. So I do like that. I have very few boxes in this good a shape, so looks like we have a complete card list for everything released so far. Premiere up through third anthology. And okay, so second anthology had like portraits of characters. This has some of the more notable or maybe better looking cards they thought. They really seemed to like Bane Maller a lot, Decipher did. So all sorts of different cards from different sets. There's Mara Jade, makes sense she would be first. That was one of the more sought after cards. And a glossary from the Special Edition starter deck. So most of the rules in here, I shouldn't say most, but a good chunk of the rules in here are outdated now, but it's always fun to look through. Plus it has one of my favorite game glossary entries of all time, if I can find it here. Fortunately, they're in alphabetical order. So apparently, card designers would try to throw the word moose into their cards to see if their editors could catch it, and apparently they always did, but I do like how that little joke made it into the glossary. I remember just flipping through reading this. That was funny to see. But yeah, a lot of interesting information here. It's not the best place to look for the current rules, but to see where the rules were at the time, it's pretty neat. And a more basic outline of the rules in this rule book here, also from the Special Edition starter deck. Okay, so we have our premiums pack here. So it's got my favorite card from it on top there, R2-D2, but I'm not going to open that up. Rather, since there's the same 6 cards in there in every single one, I figured I'd just take a set that I already had made up. So big thing about this R2 being able to draw 0 or 7, plus before you even put a pilot on board, it's Power 5, Maneuver 6, Hyperspeed 7. And Luke deploys free. This card's just crazy good. Oops, I guess I put 2 in here. So what's the card I forgot? Okay, that would be Prisoner 2187, that's Leia. So she was designed to work with the Rescue the Princess objective to try to make that work, and it didn't work so good. I guess subconsciously I was thinking of the deck that I made that has like 12 of this in there to be able to draw 0 if I'm drawing for Sensor Alter, or a 7 if I'm drawing for Lightsaber Combat. Kind of copied on a deck I heard about at a Nebraska tournament that I went to, but yep, sorry about that mistake there. The card is Prisoner 2187, 2187, if you want to look up the card yourself. Okay. So, got a couple Premiere packs. Second anthology, I had horrible luck, so we'll see if one of these is better. And I got a couple Jabba's Palace packs. You're pretty much always going to have horrible luck in a Jabba's Palace pack, so I'm not too worried about those. The Special Edition Dark Side starter deck. and the special edition light side starter deck. So I did just get a bunch of starter decks in a collection I bought in Kansas. So I think what I'm actually going to do is probably open both of these, which isn't something I would usually do, but since these are taken out of their original box, the box was about this size in shape, I think I'll just go ahead and do that. And if anybody really wants shrink-wrapped ones, they could always open the special edition starter boxes. So I'll take a Jabba's Palace and a Premier here as well. Let's see. I'll go with this Jabba's Palace, and so that means this one will get set aside. And then let's go with this Premier. Okay. So I'll open Jabba's Palace first. It's the one I'm expecting the least from. Maybe I shouldn't be pessimistic, who knows. Okay. Found a good seam there. If you like aliens, this is the pack for you. Alien decks are a lot of fun, but it does kind of stink to not have any real chance at some real main characters. Other than Jabba. And Leia's and Lando and R2, but Lando and R2 are kind of the second tier of mains, although R2 is my favorite, other than Qui-Gon, I suppose. And Lando's a cool character, too. But there are no Luke or Vader. That's kind of tier 1. Our card, oh, no, a little bit early. That's an Audience Chamber. It is a droid. Could it be R2, or is it that guy that does holograms? Okay, it is the guy that does holograms, so... it's not an alien, though. A rare from Jabba's Palace that's not an alien. How about that? Here's our Premier Unlimited pack. Okay. Oops, I always forget. I shouldn't say I always forget, but rare is going to be the 5th card. It's a dark side rare. Electro Binoculars. That's still a useful card even today. Being able to add 2 to hyperspeed and maneuver, plus it's a Destiny 6 used. Moss Eisley, I always thought this card just kind of had a neat look to it. Plus it's a 2/1, so it's not a bad site to deploy. So back to our targeting computer. Light side Kessel, nice. I don't know if this card works today with shields, but that looks pretty brutal, being able to make everyone's, all their male rebels or male aliens lost. It's pretty wild. And then our rare is, I think that's blue. No, it's an alien. So it's, okay, Jasper. I can't remember if he's a rare 2 or a rare 1, honestly, but in terms of a non-main to get, being ability 4, plus he's probably going to be at least power +1, probably, maybe power +2, and more if you're under nighttime conditions. This was not a bad card back in the day. Okay, we'll open the light side starter deck first. And I can't remember the best way to open these. Hopefully, okay, good. There is a seam on the front. The Premier decks are just a pain to try to open without feeling like I'm damaging the cards. Okay, so I found a pretty good seam there, actually. I think it starts out with 22 fixed cards. And this is me wild guessing based on the fact that I opened a lot of these, and wow, compared to Premier, these are very, very glossy. So if these are the fixed cards, that means that if we go 22 in, I think the rares are right after that, but I don't know for sure. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, and then 23, 24 are our rares, maybe? But gosh, it has to be the early 2000s that I would have last done one of these. So we'll check and see what we got. Okay, that's a useful card, X-Wing Laser Cannon. Some operatives. I never really was in the game when operatives were a thing, but I heard they were pretty abusive. Basically, something crazy like 90% of the top decks all used operatives. But there's a lot of good interrupts in Special Edition. Being able to cancel immunity to attrition, making your guys immune to attrition. Bonuses for your snow speeders. A lot of operatives in here. This card is fun in space decks, at least when you're playing with it as the light side. Being able to reduce somebody's power to 0, even the Executor, it's a good move. Okay, so I miscounted, but hey, that's a pretty good rare already. So Rogue 4, that's Hobbies. I sell this one for a few bucks in my store. And then Ja Yowza as our other rare. So it could be a lot worse than that. So I guess I don't really... I wonder if those were uncommons and next comes commons, or if these were commons and next comes uncommons. I'm not really sure if they were just tossed in, but ooh, okay. So I do love the starships in this set, the images for them. And I got Holokind and his ship Gold 6. That's nice to get a matching pilot and his ship. And Gold 4, I got his pilot as well, Lieutenant Lapira, or however it's said. Okay, Red 7, I think I saw his pilot back here. Yep. Okay, so some nice combos there of pilots and their ships. And these guys had some pretty interesting, unique bonuses that made them a lot better in a lot of ways than the premier ones that were released. It's a nice freighter. So I think we're into the fixed cards now. Okay, so these cards are the ones you get in every starter deck. And some pretty interesting ones. Sand Speeder, sort of like a Snow Speeder. And you get the fixed sights. All sorts of diamond sights that can deploy to most any planet. Some interesting interrupts. Yavin 4 Trooper. Okay. So I thought these were the rares. I miscounted a bit, so we'll just dive into the dark side one and see what happens. I don't know if I can say I miscounted since I didn't actually know where they were in the first place. Sometimes it's nice to get a Reflections 2, Reflections 1 pack, because I believe they broke special edition starters, or at least, well, however they did special edition starters, because it seemed like lots of times I would get 2 special edition rares from the same side in a Reflections pack. Of course, the big dark side card to get from here is the Vader. We'll see if we're that lucky. Starting out with the fixed cards. Pretty neat ship there. So those sights, swoop mercenaries, always wanted to make these guys work on their swoops. It didn't quite happen, but the fact that they add 2 to power of anything they pilot, and then they can draw a battle destiny if unable to otherwise with one more guy, being able to move as a react. I mean, it's tough. They don't have high forfeit, but I don't know. It was kind of fun to take those guys on and kick them into the canyon walls in the video game Shadows of the Empire. TIE Defender. Pretty harsh text there. If opponent has higher maneuver, they're power -2, but always a cool looking starfighter. Okay. Some pretty useful effects here. This was one that was probably in every deck in the day, being able to cancel some pretty annoying light side strategies, unless they come to battlegrounds and stop hiding around like cowards. Operatives. Lots of operatives. Okay, I do love this card, especially with First Order troopers, or pretty much any kind of trooper that has a gun, being able to add a battle destiny when they shoot. Tauntaun Skull. I've probably mentioned this in a few of my videos, but this was a mainstay of a deck that I took to a couple tournaments in Montana and Nebraska. There's a Destiny 6 guy that I would try to get into my lost pile, then I'd place him out of play and add 6 to my power. So I could get some pretty ridiculous power totals with that, and plus another interrupt that lets you use a device to get 6 more to your power. 2 very nice TIE-related effects here, or Starship-related effects, or I should say interrupts right next to each other. Okay, so here's our first rare, 1 arm, a unique Wampa. And our second rare is a blue card, maybe a Jabba ship. It is a Jabba ship. Nice, I'm running short on these. So that is a very, 1 arm I wouldn't say is a top rare, but it's definitely an interesting card. And then, man, to get a Jabba space cruiser, decks using this card are taken off from what I can tell. So I've been kind of selling them faster than I can replenish them. So anytime I can restock my store while doing videos, that's a good day. So some more interrupts, or operatives, I should say. A lot of operatives. It's almost like they wanted people to play operatives. Imperial City, kind of a neat text here. My friend really likes to use this text, adding 1 destiny to your power if you have a general there. That can start to add up. Secret Plans, a pretty useful card for reducing force retrieval. Apparently the light side was doing that too much. Okay, so not a bad set of pulls. I mean, Jabba Space Cruiser in one, and one arm. It's kind of interesting card, making Wampas selective creatures. So that way they don't attack each other, they can hunt in packs then. But yeah, I'm very pleased with this card, and it was interesting to go through a third anthology again for the first time in I don't know how long, almost 20 years probably. So that is the third of 3 anthology videos. I'll be continuing with some more sealed product related videos, plus a couple unconventional sealed product videos, I guess is what I want to say. I don't want to give away too much, but not the usual very mass-produced packs, you might say, are ones that I'm going to show. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Going through these special edition starter decks is always fun, especially looking at the fixed cards. And I hope to see you for a subsequent video. Thank you.